Hi, my name is Erik Chu, and I am an industrial engineering major at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. My presentation will cover Supplier A's background information, their current process for manufacturing and assembling their products, the project tools and design that I use, and finally the next steps I need to take to complete the project. Due to confidentiality reasons, I will not be discussing the location or products of Supplier A. I will also not be naming the sponsor company that I was a team of for the same reasons. I found my senior project topic during a summer internship with Company X. Supplier A was open with the vision to provide the best products to its customers. Supplier A is also being contracted by Company X that requires Supplier A to be efficient. Right now, the problem with Supplier A is that Supplier A's production system is not lean enough to fulfill current and future business needs of Company X. I was part of Company X's team to ultimately audit Supplier A's supply chain and evaluate them as a supplier. The scope of the project will focus on Supplier A's assembly and manufacturing process, beginning with order preparation. Receiving delivers all the parts needed to complete the manufacturing process to an internal receiving area Supplier A refers to as Pickup Area Number 1. After that, supply chain analysts enter in work orders into the master production schedule in Oracle. On the shop floor, a group called kitting retrieves work orders from the master production schedule and prints the work order paperwork. Kitting then retrieves all the parts necessary for assembly from pickup area number 1 listed in the work order, and then waits for assembly to take over. Finally, a shop member from assembly takes the paperwork and begins the assembly process. This is the order preparation process. The issue that I noticed with Supplier A is with their production control system. When supply chain analysts push work out to the floor, the ERP system does not place a prioritization of work orders, so the shop floor would be working on work orders due months ahead instead of work orders due right now. Supplier A's goal is to have a minimum of 3 weeks of orders on the shop floor and a maximum of 5 weeks of orders at any given time, but their ERP system does not differentiate work order due date. This leads to an influx of WIP, or work in process, in Supplier A's production system that leads to lengthy cycle time from shop floor confusion. This process flow map is the assembly process of Supplier A's different products. On the bottom right corner, there's a legend describing the symbols. The green boxes show the Kaizen bursts and areas of improvement identified within Supplier A's process, and the letters depict Supplier A's different products that go through the assembly process. The process begins with the shop floor picking up the work order from the Hijunka and gathering the components from kitting. The product then goes to a machine that paste solders and eventually goes through a series of testing and inspection where it is finally shipped as a finished product to Company X. I will use what I have learned from the industrial engineering curriculum to design a production system for Supplier A. I will use project management to ensure that the entire project is done on time and meets all deliverables. I will also use a cost analysis to understand the business impact of the problem. Process improvement fundamentals have been used as evidence in the process flowcharts in the previous slides. All of these tools will be used to solve Supplier A's current production problem. My design will be based on the current state of Supplier A as well as research I have performed. My literature review is separated in 4 different categories. The first is lean manufacturing practices, which includes Hijunkas, value stream mapping, and process flow mapping. Next, I researched different ways to manage WIP and inventory, like RFID and vendor managed inventory. I also researched demand forecasting and what the safety stock should be in a high volume, high paced manufacturing facility. Lastly, I researched different ERP systems as alternatives from Oracle to SAP. Currently, Supplier A uses Oracle to manage their work orders, and I researched different modules Supplier A can use to prioritize their work orders based on due date. The deliverables for my project include a standard operating procedure for utilizing inventory, a production control system design, and inventory level recommendations. Moving forward, I will finalize different design deliverables, which include a production system design. I will then test and recommend the best alternative. It is extremely important that I continue following engineering ethics. One challenge that I will face is the limited data that I have. Due to company and supplier rules, as well as the scope of the evaluation performed in the summer, I have limited data on dollar amounts. I will be in constant communication with my advisor on ways to overcome this challenge. Thank you for taking the time to view my presentation.